over 3.5 million in revenue, and there are 14 stores that are generating under 0.5 million revenue. So we can see that we need to focus on the 14 stores that are generating lower revenue. Now there are maximum sales that are 3.82 million that belongs to week 52 of 2010, and minimum sales are 2.209.99k belonging to week 49 of 2010. We can see there is a trend that sales are maximized when there are holiday season like Thanksgiving, Labor Day, Super Bowl and Christmas. We can see that during Super Bowl and Labor Day we generate maximum of the sales that are close to 1.5 billion dollars, and Christmas we can see that there are some lower sales number, maybe because of market ups and downs. Now Ingita will continue with the presentation.
Hello everyone. So I'm going to throw light over the weekly sales by the stores. If we see that there are some stores like the top 5 which shows the highest sales, whereas some are showing the low sales. So we can focus on the bottom 14 of the stores, so we can uh, make their performance better by giving them some discounts or focus on some untapped opportunities. Next is the data of the sum of weekly sales in the 2011. In the year 2011, major sale was in the December. This is due to the Thanksgiving and Christmas and all the holidays, due to which the sales increase. So during this month we have to make sure that our inventories are not out of stock and have an adequate amount of inventory during this month. Then if we see the weekly sales by quarter, in the fourth quarter our weekly sales are the highest in comparison to rest other quarters. So during this quarter we should have the adequate inventory during these peak quarters. So the recommendations would be to focus on the low performing stores and to leverage the high peak weeks which are towards the end of the year, and to boost the store engagement in which the weekly sales are less, and to do the seasonal adjustment, that is in the fourth quarter when the sales are the highest. So this was all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So feedback from the audience, from the other analysts. So I'm just going to leverage that, right? So when you go to the inventory bit, so remember what we said during lectures, that we don't say things for which we don't have a backup, right? So we don't need to say specifically that, okay, we will run out of inventories or whatever, right? So you can just give a generic recommendation there. Or the recommendation could be, okay, we don't have inventory data in this case. It would be nice to look into our inventory performance as well, so that we can make better decisions, right? So in that case, you're telling the stakeholder there's a gap for data itself, right? Because otherwise, yeah, that may not go well, right? Anybody else? But otherwise, your presentation is kind of, let's start on slide number 1. Let's go back. Uh, yeah, that's pretty clear, right? So if I'm at your place, what I will do, I will put the team member names as well who are presenting, right? So that way, yes, you said your names and we know who you are and what's like perhaps the department as well in real life, right? So you do that. The other thing I will do when you're slide number 1, if we are presenting in team, like you said your name, which is great. I will also say, here's my colleague, she's going to present on this thing, and that's it. So that way at the start, everybody knows that both of you are going to present. And otherwise, until the second person comes in, yeah, by default I should know, but I can make my own perception, right?
Normally, sir, we do this thing, but there was some time constraints, so we didn't do it.
Oh,
Like
that's
in
okay.
class class.
Okay, and okay, let's go to the next one. One of the slides I always like to have the agenda. So, like when you're presenting your business finding thing, you're presenting in a meeting, right? So, the agenda will simply say, okay, this is what we're going to talk about. And it can be driven from your key questions. It can be based on your main narrative. So that way I will kind of memorize those kind of 3 or 4 bullet points. Okay, these are the things we will talk about. And then you can even make a reference. Okay, based on agenda item number 2, this is what we're going to talk about, right? So kind of makes it a bit more impactful, right? Yeah, so you can repeat questions in between if needed, and that will kind of eliminate the slide too. So you have a bit more space, right? Okay. Let's do that. Any thoughts, guys, on this? This was good? Yeah, we can have kind of different opinion on that. So when you're presenting numbers, I think this is okay like that too. But again, you can think of graphical representation, right? But one of the things you can throw in here as part of your narrative to tell your audience that our data analysis is only focused on 45 stores for which we have data. So don't make assumptions, right? So although I give you data set, but I always tell my students, put yourself in the shoes of a presenter and assume that I know nothing about it. You're presenting it to me very close time, right? And you can even say about the timeline. So we're analyzing data which is from 2011 or 2010 to 2012. So that way it kind of brings more clarity. You're kind of setting the background. You set up stores, that's great, but tell that this is what you're working on, right? Okay. Maximum sales, okay, week 52, and minimum week 49, okay? So not in 2012?
In my data, it showed 2010.
2010, okay. Okay. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect anything else because you don't have any information on inventories or anything. Yeah, okay. That sits with what you're given with. Anybody thoughts on this? Any improvement suggestions? Yeah, it could have went by color.
The color is showing differently on the projector. On my side, it's
Okay.
green.
Right. So come before then check it, right? All those jokes aside. So the other thing I caught you guys on, if you go to previous slide, you said week 52 had maximum sales, and then you
Week
went ahead
49.
and you went to Christmas, right? So my attention was actually drawn by that little bar. Then I thought, okay, hang on, week 52, and Christmas we have lowest sales. So I think when you came to next slide, you should have said that although that Christmas that falls into December, but it doesn't mean it's week 52. And it's only capturing the sales when the Christmas promotions were on, right? If you look carefully in your data set, I think that was sometime on December 31st, something like that. So it was not on 25th, it was on different dates. So that was the important point to highlight here. Otherwise, I can't make anything out of that, right? So, just be careful as you kind of transition. So in this case, by chance, it was week 52 and Christmas, right? So I may link that, right? Because that falls in December. Yeah, I think this is good. The only thing that I had in my mind that you could have added numbers for the highlighted ones, so that you can kind of show the difference in dollar values. The other thing you can play around with is like y-axis. You can change these to millions and just make the numbers small, right? This is good. So what was your narrative around this, like weekly sales by quarter?
Like in the quarter 4, there is a surge in the weekly sales apart from the other quarters. So during this quarter, we should make sure that we have an adequate inventories to meet up the market demand.
So we have quarter fours several times. So we have four quarter fours.
It's for the
We
three
have only
different
three
years.
historical data, right? 2010, 11,
11,
and 12,
12.
right? So you have one extra quarter four? Or I'm misreading it. So there's something went wrong, right? So maybe we need to look into that. What was incorrect? So 3 quarters to 8. So how did you produce these quarter numbers? You entered it manually?
We exported the file from the Power BI, then it was shifted into the Excel, then the
Okay.
Excel file is uploaded in Canva.
Okay, so you may want to check it, right? So
Yes.
where the error happened. The other thing you can do is, if like in Power BI gives you year and then weeks, you can actually label those where you have circles. You can say Q4, Q4,
Okay.
Q1, whatever that is. Because even let's say if the quarters are correct, it seems like your second peak is falling on Q1.
Okay.
So that way it's kind of pretty misleading, right? Okay. Right, let's go to the next one. So I want to hear a little bit more on the recommendations, right? So target low performing stores. Anybody else? What else you can add to that? How will you target low performing stores? For more offers, promotions, right? So in this case, like you could have created a hypothetical scenario. Like remember last when we did the presentation morning, I said you need to link it to some analytics, right? So you may say, okay, for store 20, it wasn't performing well before 2010. We had promotions, we added new product lines, and suddenly we had increase in sales. So maybe we want to do something similar to that, right? So I just kind of wanted to pick up your line of thought, what you can kind of expand upon, right? Okay. So, but otherwise you follow the structure, you had the background, you had the data, and then the recommendations, right? So, well done. So it's a really good start. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, next group. Who else is ready? So let's present whatever you have ready, right? Because we need to move on. Remember, there's no best solution. There's always an option. So well done to you guys. You had it ready and you presented it. You can even present it from Power BI. So because I just need to know your line of thought, right? So only then I can give you some feedback. She's not joining you?
Actually, I was asking questions, so I'm not aware of the breakdown of the data.
Okay. Right. You want to deduct your marks?
I can do, but that will not be enough.
No. So yes, you.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Hi, here I am Diksha, and I'm sharing you my thoughts on the analysis of Walmart analysis, sales analysis. Here, first chart of mine is representing the sum of weekly sales by year. So, here is the years and weekly sales of Walmart stores, and the red bar shows in 2012 has the minimum sales, and the green bar shows the maximum sales. Based on the data set we have. Actually, this is to be analyzed through regression, but I have not enough time to collect all the data. So here it shows it increases in the quarter 4, where some factors affects like CPI, temperature, unemployment rate. Uh, After that, it continues this cycle, and then in the year 2011 it affects the same, and factors affect it, and after that sales decline and continues its flow. Next is the sum of weekly sales by months. Here the we clearly shows that in the month of December it is the highest sales. Next we have analyzed that sum of weekly sales by month and year. Here are the months. Here are the months of the year 2011, 2010, 11, and 12. It shows the weekly sales, where the highest sales shows in the month of December. We also analyzed that the weekly sales by holidays. We have the holidays of Super Bowl, Labor Day, and Thanksgiving and Christmas. So Christmas shows the minimum sales, and Super Bowl shows the highest sale. So the sum of weekly sales of the stores are divided into two contexts, which is holiday and non-holiday. Holiday have more than 6 million sales, and non-holiday shows 5 million plus sales. Sum of weekly sales by stores shows which store number has the highest sales during the period. So here store number 20 shows the highest sales in this duration. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Feedback. You guys already presented, you're in a safe zone. So, what would you like to say?
The overall layout of the presentation was not standardized or consistent.
Okay. So, let's start from first of all, big shout out to you. You stood up, you came to present, right? So that's great. I mean, you need to build up your confidence. So come, you present, it comes, right? So again, let's go to slide number 1. Yeah, so again, I mean, same line of thought, put your name there, right? And the other thing you can do is, even you can kind of give a bit of background here too, right? That you're given with data from 2010 to 2012, about Walmart sales across 45 stores, and we're going to analyze it to provide some recommendations to the management, right? So that way, it's kind of very brief background on the data itself, right? And why you're doing it.
Sir, actually, I was giving that data in this slide, but
Okay. But I mean, agenda. Yeah, you can say that, but for a few bullets there, right?
Mhm.
To kind of dictate what are going to be key points. Okay. Is that intentional? That bar comes up, or okay?
it's the feature.
Just the feature. Okay, so I think either you kind of bring the maximum bar like that, which is kind of appearing, or the minimum, right? So
Okay.
that's neither maximum nor minimum, it's kind of in between, right? The other recommendation I will have, okay, so there are a few things. So you have sum of weekly sales, right? That's blue color. And in your legend on top, right? And year is red.
So actually data is transferred in the Canva and it shows like this, but I have colored the column of 2011 and 12 afterwards, so that's why it shows this difference.
No, that's okay. I mean, we're using a tool. It may have some flaws. It's presenting differently, but your audience is going to look at this, right? So if you're presenting to audience, I mean, if you're presenting management, let's put it in a harsh way. They don't care if you do in Canva, right, or PowerPoint. So it's going to be misleading information, right? So if I just look at that, I don't listen to you, then I think that you're simply adding years, right? So yeah, so I think it's just kind of do a bit of matching there. What else I was going to say? So the other thing I think you can include is, like, Christmas has the minimum sales, right? So again, if let's say I'm presenting this, I will tell, to again kind of link to people, like when they're holidays, what we do? We usually relax, right? So a simple example could be, okay, the sales are down on Christmas because perhaps people are not shopping on that date, right? They are spending time with family. So that way it's kind of more of a connection with people, right? So you can kind of bring those kind of things in, right? Okay, so let's go to the next one.
This is the summary of the graph.
Yeah, so in my opinion, I think this slide is not needed. This is unnecessary. So if you go back, you can just simply say that okay, 2011 has the maximum sales, and 2012 has the
Minimum sales.
minimum sales, right? But we all make these kind of things because I think when we present too much in academic environment, we have those kind of slides which will summarize what we said previously. But again, coming back to the principle, this is redundant information, and you already said it. Then if you're showing it to the audience again, it's just going to be like create some disengagement, right? So let's go to the next one. Again, I think it's to do with Canva, perhaps. So again, I can see 4 of 4 so many times there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So straight away, it is going to be misleading, right? So again, at cost of repetition, don't be a slave of a tool, right? So if you need to copy the picture from Power BI, just put that in Canva, right? So otherwise, you're just creating extra work for you, right? Okay. So again, you could have used muted colors for us,
Yes, sir.
and highest in December, if that's your point of concern, yeah, that can be highlighted. Otherwise, you can even highlight bar number 4, 7, and 12, right? Because, yeah, here we go, you have functionality. New ground. Right. Let's go to next then. I think that is the issue with Canva, right? And even in this case, you can see that sum of sales is kind of part of the data issue, right?
Yes, sir.
The other problem I kind of notice here, when you take, this visual is from Power BI, right? Now your formatting is certainly changed. So see, your ear is moved on to the left, legend.
Yes, sir.
In case of Canva, your legend is in the middle, right? So again, my recommendation is try to keep legend on the right hand side. But remember conventions. So people usually kind of expect the title in the middle and legends on right. So that way it's kind of a standard structure to present data. Otherwise, if I'm an audience, I'm somebody who kind of likes to pay attention on, okay, what is there on data, I like to read your slides, then I'm always going to get confused on that, right? But again, the other comment I have, you can kind of play around with the colors, right? Using muted colors. Because your concern is the December month, higher sales. So rest can be muted. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Yeah. So I have kind of same comments. We could have reduced the number of decimal places, make those numbers small, and we can even put, let's say, minimum sales Christmas. You can put the total amount, right, that you have from the bar itself. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. So holiday sales are really high, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's good. I mean, the same comments again, like along the lines of reducing numbers. And now you switch to a format where you have title, like the slide heading on left and graph on the right. So again,
Formatting.
nothing wrong with it. It is acceptable, but again, my concern is we stick to standard, right? Yeah, same comments here, but I like what you guys did there, like weird colors in between, then perhaps green on left and red on right, right? Oh, great, well done. So, again, as I said, guys, don't take it as criticism. I'm just telling you the facts, right? So you can improve it, right? Okay. Well, great job. Okay, let's finish.
स्क्रीन का चेक करना पड़ेगा ना.
That's with HDMI, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm choosing the screen as well, but it's not displaying that either. Can you put it again? Yes. I did that, sir. Indian Jugaad.
Here you go.
Okay.
You have C connector or not?
No, it's not in there.